wanna go and get percentages up. I know your hard work ain't really working enough. So let's go. I know. Let's go. I know. Let's go. Yeah, I know. Let's go. Yeah, I know. Went from bagging groceries to flipping some burgers. Yeah, I did. Right in.
Now, there's two things for me that I take into consideration now that I'm older when I'm purchasing a home. One is maintenance. You have to be able to keep up with your home. Now, I've been married now. Sadly, my wife is not able to make it today, which kind of sucks. I like to have her around, so it's nice to see a married couple doing your thing together. And so, first of all, hey boo, you know, I know words are powerful when they travel, so girl, you know I love you, and you're my boo, and I love you so much. I'm looking back there, don't look back there, she ain't there, I'm just doing it. It's going to a job right now, it's going to a job right now. And one of the things, when you get married, you begin to have your own quirks. And what makes me want the second house now instead of the third house is because now I'm married. Because our quirk is, when we argue, we clean up. We be in the house, baby, I told you that I was going to get the cheese, but I just forgot it, so why are you worried about it? And where's the broom? So I'm in the house just sweeping up and cleaning, and she yelling in the background, see, I told you I wanted the white cheese and not the yellow cheese, and you just don't listen to me. And she don't like holding the donuts in a towel. I mean, really, guys, it's funny. And it's crazy. If you ever come to my house and it's super, super, super clean, you probably just got into an argument. The second thing I think about, you said, well, Joshua, you could just get a housekeeper. You can get this house, you could just get a housekeeper. Right? That would only make sense. But then you go into the second thing, affordability. So outside of this mortgage, which probably is ridiculous, you have to pay for the insurance. You have to pay for the higher utility bill you're going to have. You got to pay to be actually fill everything up in the house. And then you want me to spend money on a housekeeper to keep it up? I don't know about that one. I don't know. But I completely understand. So I have the question for me is, has anyone ever been in a situation where you really were struggling with your rent? You said, man, I can't really pay this rent right now, and I want them to evict me, or I don't want my house to get foreclosed on. Has that anyone happened to anyone? Happened to me, okay? I've got evicted before. It's a hideous situation. And that's what you don't want in these situations. When you're actually getting a mortgage, you do not want your home foreclosed on. Because what ends up happening is that the bank says, all right, well, we're going to take this house back. And if you say, for example, man, I want to get the same house back later down the line, you're going to have to go to find someone who will randomly approve you for the loan. They're going to charge you an out the wazoo interest rate, and then you have to find a way to get those people to buy that house back. And that is extremely hard. It's to the point where most people honestly will tell you, just start over. It's going to be easier, just start over. So today, I want you to understand, do not go into foreclosure. Now, I had an interesting thought. What if our life was a house? And everyone is born with a room. That's your family. So no matter who you are, you got one room in your house. And as you move along in life, and as you begin to add things to your life, that is a room added to your house. You follow me? So many of you said, man, I want this mansion. Right? How many rooms do you think are in that mansion? Anybody want to take a guess? 15. She said 7 or 8. Any other one? 20 or so. Okay, that's understandable. How much do you think this house will be? A couple million? It's okay, you know, 900,000, a million or so. When I was born, I have a family. And then as you go along, you begin to add things in your life. So when I went to ECU, I came there with the girl, like I said, she passed away in 2010, and it was just me and her. And so at this point in time, I had a family, I was a student, And as things progressed around 2011, 2010, I did get the job in Mendenhall. I had another job where I was probably the worst employee possible. I used to be to work late every day. I learned that day I could not be in an office job at all. I used to volunteer a lot. I started being active in my church, and then I ended up having my car, which was a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. And then I joined the fraternity. And so right now, my house is, I got a pretty decent sized house. You would think that, right? Like, this is a nice sized house. And what happened after she passed away, which was in November, I really began to ask myself, Joshua, do I really want to be here anymore? I remember walking through campus, and I was like, man, I hate this place. I just hate this place. I cannot be here anymore. I do not want to be here anymore. There's really nothing here for me. Like, somebody I believe was going to be this, I was going to spend the rest of my life with bones. I'm like, and then everything around me is a reminder. I'm like, I hate this place. And so then my next house, well, I had a couple rooms added onto it. And so I started doing drugs. I started smoking a lot of weed. I believe in honesty. Like I said, I'm going to be honest. I started smoking weed heavily during that time. And then at this time also, I started rapping to be able to cope with it. And then I was also fighting depression. And then I started just dealing with so many females. It was ridiculous. And it was difficult because you have to understand that at this point in time, I am the chief of staff of ECU's largest organization while I'm the student manager and I just joined the fraternity. And then that spring, I was on my way to becoming president. And I was like, I don't want to be here no more. So I really asked myself, so I told Joshua, listen, what would really happen if we did go back to Winston-Salem? And I told myself, all right, well, Joshua, listen, if you go back to Winston, first off, the only thing you're really probably going to do is in a position where I was top 10 in the state. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting my house to be this big. Coming up from Winston, this is like, well, you probably just go, you probably do all right. You might be a teacher or something, but I wasn't expecting this. So really, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Really, you don't even know what I'm going to say in the next sentence. Really, you don't even know if you're going to be able to make it live tonight. It ain't tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. No, tonight is not promised. So do not foreclose on your dream home, whether it is that mansion. You say, man, I want this mansion when I grow up. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't foreclose on it by quitting. Don't foreclose on it by making decisions that you already know going into it, man, I probably shouldn't do this. Because we do it all the time. But defer. Okay, maybe I can't be involved this semester. I got to do it next semester. Maybe I got to cut back on one job to be able to do it. Yes, I know we have things to take care of, but you got to think long term because we really don't know what's going to happen. So, what happens to a dream
I could but pass on it. Let's establish this. Well above averages. Go for being savage.